it's another day. Billions will kneel and pray. Anything to aid escape from the world so cold and gray.
That's a fucking 100 times, boy.
Woo! We're up to 100 episodes. This is an episode 100. I can't believe we made it this far.
Pew, pew, pew.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It thrills me. It's exciting. 100 fucking episodes. Over some close to 100 hours of me postulating and you postulating and talking as well, and just...
People being like, what are you guys going to postulate about this week?
What do you guys... I don't even know if that's the right context for that word.
I don't care.
I don't care either.
This is our universe.
It's the 100 episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're in triple digits now.
3 digits, babe.
It's all over.
Feels good.
Yeah. We're glad you're here with us today. We're glad that hopefully you're listening to this on Christmas.
Yeah.
A festive day of celebration.
Saturnalia.
We have a special guest today. On our 100th episode, I couldn't think of anything better than having the illustrious, the professed, the lettered Dr. Doug Hurdy with us in the studio today.
Not a doctor. Also a doctor.
To celebrate with us this 100th episode.
Thanks for having me on the 100th episode, guys.
Oh,
thanks for
It's
coming.
it's a real honor.
yeah.
Thanks for CUMMING coming with us.
We hope you all enjoyed our
Come on, everybody.
99th episode, the clip show.
Yeah.
And hope you enjoyed all the glimpse back at the Bones and Tubs universe.
Yes, clips.
Yes. But
Spicy clips.
before we get started, I guess we should go on and thank our Patreon contributors.
Thank you
all.
Thank you.
And have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
I'd like to especially thank Jess for the delicious box of sweeties that she sent to us.
Going straight to our thighs.
It was a shock to me.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a box of poop. I mean, I didn't know who it was from at first. All I know is I see a box, some random box that I didn't order
Yeah.
coming in the mail, and I was like, oh,
This
no.
is how it ends.
It's a box
Yeah.
of poop.
Was it something she made?
No. It was a special box of delicious assortment of sweeties.
Like a mystery box type thing or something? With
Not
food?
quite a mystery box. It was like from a bakery in New York.
Interesting.
Nice.
Was it delicious?
Well, I've had some of it, but I wanted to give some to my partner.
Yeah.
I didn't want to eat all the sweeties for myself.
Share the sweets.
I shared the biggest one. I didn't. It's some sort of chocolate custard cake. I saved it for you.
Goodness gracious.
Nice
Yeah.
of you.
But there are some good sweeties in there.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you, Jess, for that.
Thank you very much.
And thank our other Patreon contributors continue to contribute towards the Bones and Tubs podcast as we continue on our path to try to get better equipment.
Yeah.
And also to remind you that here soon we will be switching the podcast over to Podbean.
Podbean. Fuck Squarespace. And I mean that in the best way possible.
So you keep giving Squarespace hate. And I feel like they gave us what we needed when we needed it.
I know, man.
But it's like a relationship that's just run its course. It's time to move on.
Right.
What's wrong with it? Is it just does it cost money?
I think it was just the interaction with their customer care that kind of got me salty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That and their analytics suck a dick.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I wrote them several emails about the analytics problem. First, they gave me a copy and paste. Second time, they gave me a, we're sorry, we understand, and then a copy and paste. And the third time was like, actually, our analytics are very broken. We don't know when they're going to get fixed. Here's 3 options. And I tried all 3 of the options, and none of them worked.
So it's like writing your congressman.
Yeah.
You get a copy and paste.
Yeah, basically.
like
Another
me.
copy and paste.
Except instead of getting taxed to death over my life, we were paying them our money.
Right.
You know?
It was like being with somebody who was just mediocre at blowjobs. You
Yeah.
know? Like, they were good at a lot of things. They just weren't good. Like, it just kind of let you down.
Now it's time to move up.
Yeah. We're moving up. And from everything, all the research I've done, something tells me that Podbean is our best option.
I mean, it's in the name.
Podbean's the new woman.
Yeah. Blowjob queen.
Someone's going to say that's misogynistic.
I don't give
But
a
you know
fuck.
what? It's fucking episode 100, and I really don't give a fuck today.
Yeah,
You do
you
what
should.
you want to your world.
Yeah.
We're grown.
But also, if you want to, go check us out on Instagram as well. We're out there. And we're also in the Fallout universe as well, if you want to check us out there as well.
Yeah.
As Tubbs Podcaster and Bones and Tubbs Podcast. That's our names, respectively.
We're doing it.
Yeah. We actually play with a longtime contributor, Aaron the Red.
Aaron the Red.
So you can come join our team. We're trying to get the doctor to play, too. I don't know how he feels about it.
I don't have a computer that runs that shit.
That's what taxes are for.
Tax money.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I got that kid now and I get that sweet tax return.
There you go.
That's right. I think you become a father since the last time you were on this show.
Yes.
Congratulations.
You figured out how it worked. That's great.
I think right before the last time I was on, we were getting ready to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Awesome.
How many more you going to do?
I'd like to have 2 or 3.
More or total?
2 or 3 more.
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's cool.
God damn.
Do what you do, man.
I'd like to. I don't know if it's going to work. I mean, I'm getting old. But I was thinking at least 3.
At least you got your doctorate out of the way.
I'd like to have at least 3 total.
Where you started doing that.
Right.
Making the beast with 2 backs and everything.
Yeah. We hope you're actually, all of you out there, when you're listening to this episode, I hope you're listening to it with family, since I assume you're going to be with family on this Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to piss everybody off right now. I want to be elected president so I can make it okay to say Happy Saturnalia again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I really want. I want to move past Merry Christmas. I want to be able to say Happy Saturnalia without someone telling me that I'm not allowed to celebrate fucking Saturn's Day, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Where we eat food and exchange gifts with each other and burn trees.
Where it all came from. You know?
Fuck it.
Get past all the bullshit.
But yeah, we hope you're listening to the show with your grandparents,
Yeah.
your aunts, your judgy uncle.
If you're at your grandparents' house and your grandma's got one of those couches covered in plastic, it's because she used to be a squirter.
Ooh.
You already know.
She didn't want to stain the furniture.
Nah, man. Worked hard. That fucking couch was probably about, I don't know, $8, $9 back then.
You always wondered why your uncle called her Snaily. You
Yeah.
just could never figure out why.
Snail trailing. Right. Ooh-wee. I'll never look at her the same again. And I'm not mad at you for it.
No. But yeah, so we hope you all enjoy your Christmas and enjoy this episode. It's the 100th episode. You're here to celebrate with us today.
Yes.
Because without viewers like you, there's a fairly high chance that we wouldn't have made it to 100 episodes in the first place.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. Something tells me and my podcasting partner are 2 tenacious individuals. I think if we would have stayed with a viewership or listenership of like 3 people, we would have sold that fucking every episode to those 3 people.
Yeah. It's just slowly creeping up there. Keeps growing and growing. Talking to random people from various states.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I was getting hounded in that 2-week span where we weren't doing an episode.
Yeah. Due to the illnesses. I felt like
I thought you guys died.
not only could I not walk out of my house and go to work or go around friends, but it was like I look in to I get messaged. It was like the pelting never stopped. I go in my house expecting not to get hit with rocks anymore, and then they start flying out of my phone.
Exactly.
It's cool. It's good in a way.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good for you.
Hopefully we'll keep building it up and we just do it full time. Then we'll be here all the time for you.
Also, while we're on the show today, before we get started on the topic, I want to talk about. I don't know if you're ready. I'm ready to do a pivot turn on Q.
Yeah, fuck QAnon.
Yeah.
Oh, that whole nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like nothing he said has been true
Wow,
for like the last 3 months.
You said the most cleverest thing I've heard of this so far. The nonsense.
Yeah.
Did you intend that? Or did you hear that somewhere?
I don't think you know.
Did you
I
make
don't
that
know.
up?
I guess
Look
I
at
just made it up on the spot.
Holy shit! That's why we have you on the show in the
Dude.
first
I don't know.
place.
Yeah, QAnonsense.
Get
Q
one.
and nonsense. Yeah,
It's been
yeah.
a while,
Do it
so I'll
up.
probably get a fucking buzz.
But nah, I'm done. I've washed my hands, especially after that Q&A that you told me about.
Yeah, man, they're asking
I'm-
questions, telling you, like, just these people are fucking... I don't even know if the questions, like, were from real people, but one of them was, should we be prepared with 6 months' worth of food? Because the DHS came out on their website and was like, prepare with 6 months of food and water, because just in case some shit happens, which to me is foreshadowing,
Yeah.
but
Do you
whatever.
feel like that it was actually somebody doing it, or you think it's...
But QAnon said, nah, man, you don't have to worry about that. The NSA's got your back. What
Yeah.
the fuck are you
See,
talking about?
whoa.
You're protected by a black eye. And when I heard that, I thought they said black guy, and I looked around, I didn't see a black guy that had my back. So then I looked it up, and it was black eye, like you got punched in the face. Another one was, Q called, I just keep wanting to say Edward Snowden,
Traitor.
a traitor, and that he was being sought. Like,
QAnon called Edward Snowden a traitor?
yeah.
Why does everyone want to call him Jon Snowden? Is this a Game of Thrones
Yeah.
like throw over?
Yeah.
That's what they'll do to him if they get a chance. They'll do some straight up Game of Thrones
He's
shit.
like, next they're going to be calling like Julian Assange a traitor. And
I think they
probably already are.
probably are, man. I don't know. Fuck QAnon though. You can kind of tell, too, if you're into QAnon and you get upset when you hear things like fuck QAnon, that you're under a mind control op when it makes you upset and you're not sure why. Like, why would it matter if I like him? You know?
I mean, here's the thing.
I've done the deep work, and he is not to be trusted.
This is the thing at the end of the day you got to remember with us, everybody. Just because we're saying fuck QAnon, that's not like giving power to these Satanists and pedophiles. They still exist.
No, they probably just said shit like that to bait me in there.
But they still exist. We know they do.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I mean,
I just meant QAnon's bait, like talking about it.
Yeah, well, see, the
Kinda
thing
like
is, even
opposition type
if
thing.
I don't have to like them, he points out that to their symbolism.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's still there. The symbolism still exists. They're still fucking on some fucking greasy shit.
Nasty shit. Nasty motherfuckers. I can't even order a pizza now without feeling gross. Let's get on this topic.
Yeah. So the topic of the day, we figured for the 100th episode, we had to do what I believe to be truly the granddaddy of all conspiracies as far as I'm concerned, at least in Western or U.S. culture.
Hundreds, if not thousands of videos, hundreds of documentaries, 2,000 books.
And what I believe to be possibly, like, if you look at, like, the chain of events, where the red thread begins, right?
Yeah.
Inevitably, it necessarily doesn't start with this, but it's the first, like, historical impact that begins to create shockwaves through the rest of, and resonates through the rest of history, and can be tied to so many different things at the same time.
Right.
And of course, we're talking today about the assassination of President John Fitzgerald Kennedy.
Yeah.
JFK, as some would call him.
JFK, back and to the left.
Yeah. So let's break this down for you. I'm gonna go back a little bit. We're gonna peel this back. We're gonna Tarantino this story.
Hop into your naked time machine and follow along.
But we're gonna pedal back to his father, Joe Kennedy.
Hey, Joey.
Businessman. He was tied with business and politics in Boston. His family was a big part of all that. Alderman, whatnot. You know what I mean.
Greasy mob.
See, the thing is, I went back and looked, and, you know, everyone always says, oh, well, they got their money from liquor. And I'm waving my hand, everybody. You can't see that because, you know, audio medium. But yeah, he had some ties with individuals who made liquor when liquor wasn't legal. But as two people who believe in the freedom of the world, prohibition was bullshit.
Yeah, he was just taking off in the true market, you know?
Yeah.
Fuck the government the long way.
People wanted liquor.
Yeah.
And he helped provide it.
I'm just glad that we decided at the time when they got rid of the liquor ban that we'll never, ever do anything dumb like that ever again because it just creates a criminal underclass.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
Yeah, hold on.
Drug prohibition. I forgot. I'm sorry. Continue.
But the thing is, Joe Kennedy wasn't, like, completely in the muck. He was still, like, he you know, was upper class Bostonian, right? Like, he wasn't, like, you know, mobster. He was out of it, right?
Yeah.
But he still got his beak wet from illegal money.
It's like you got to, you know? What else they had to do? They didn't have YouTube back then.
Exactly.
Make that money, dog.
What are you going to do? A little bit of racketeering, you know?
Just a tiny bit.
Everyone was doing it.
Right. A little conversational cocaine hitting his wife in the back that one way, and she's like, fuck me harder. Fuck me harder.
But hobnob of politics, and ultimately ended up being an ambassador to the UK for FDR. Now, the thing is, that, remember, this is a different time. The difference between Democrats and Republicans then was different as it is then as it was now, right? So Joe Kennedy wasn't necessarily what some would consider as a Democrat, but he liked some of the things that FDR did, but he didn't agree with him all the time. So he necessarily...
FDR was a bit of a leftist.
Yeah.
You could definitely say that.
And basically how his political career ended and his son's careers began was that while he was the ambassador to the UK, this was in 1939, 1940, right? He's basically telling Kennedy, hey, we need to stay out of this fucking Germany nonsense. We don't need to get ourselves entangled in another war. Like, they're not going to fuck with us.
Stay away from those crowd like us.
At the time, the current administration was like, nah, bro, fuck that. We need to get involved with this shit.
Yeah.
So he came out of favor, right? Like because here's the thing. He was planning on running in 1940 for president, but then FDR came out of nowhere and decided that he was going to run again for another term, which fucked his career even more. Right. So he gets removed as the ambassador to the UK. thus begins him trying to groom his sons to be politicians, right? But at the time, 2 of his sons, forward about 4 years, are both in the military. JFK is a boat captain on a PT boat, and his son Joe is a pilot out of the UK.
Yeah.
Now, this is when shit to me starts to get a little funky.
A little fucky or funky?
Funky.
Funky.
Joe was the oldest son, and they were expecting him to, like, they were grooming him. They're like, that motherfucker is going to be the first Irish Catholic president, right? And they were having him fly experimental planes and experimental equipment during the war, right?
Very dangerous.
Yeah, and they were experimenting with this plane that I guess
He's
you're
flying
supposed
for
to...
the RAF at the time?
What's that?
He's flying for
No,
the
this
RAF at the
this
time?
is in 44, 45.
Okay, so America was in the war then.
Yeah. So he's flying this experimental plane over the English Channel, right? And the idea was this fucker is loaded down with explosives. And it was kind of more or less like they fly it for a certain period of time and then they bail. And then the plane is flying remote control into a target, like an unmanned kamikaze, basically, right?
Remote control way back then?
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Yeah, wild, right? So when he's on this mission, there's a malfunction, fucking
Man,
shit explodes. He's dead.
crazy.
So Joe Kennedy's first chance at possibly having a son be a president is over with that. In comes his second son, John Fitzgerald Kennedy. He was in the South Pacific fighting in the war, and as a Navy man. And he had his fair shares of adventure and craziness that happened. He basically became a war hero because of shit he did in the Pacific, and then came home and immediately started like running as a politician. And this is like 48, 50, he started running as a politician, right? I mean, at the time, this is what you gotta remember, is like, Joe Kennedy, since his first son died, and under weird circumstances too, he knew that JFK was his big hope of having a son become a president, right? Because after him, it was Robert and then Teddy. JFK's a senator through the 50s, is a huge fucking rising star. Everybody fucking loves him, right? And he kind of in his first election in 1960, he disses himself from his dad because people kept bringing up the fact that, like, now in hindsight, we realize we needed to be in World War II because of the Nazis. And his dad was kind of like, fuck the Nazis. Like, leave them alone. We don't need to fuck with them. Kind of shit.
They're not a big problem. Don't worry about it.
Between that and him shit-talking FDR, Harry Truman, and even going on the record, and it got leaked that he had said that he had told Richard Nixon when he was running against his son that he wouldn't have been mad if he would have been elected because he liked Richard Nixon too. I told you, this is a different time, right? So, up to 1960, JFK is elected president of the United States.
Woo!
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, if you remember from earlier episodes, we've talked before about JFK and like what his role meant and what happened to him, what it caused, right? So we're going to Tarantino back again, and through all this history that we've been talking about, I'm gonna cite back to Smedley Butler and the CIA and what it was before it was the CIA.
Yeah.
And the things that they set into motion before then.
The giant homunculus in the room.
Yeah, this fucking spider group that more or less is just fucking, it's like the real version of Hydra from like the Marvel movies. Like fucking rising from the ideologies of Nazis. These motherfuckers were working in the shadows for years to get what they wanted.
Yeah.
Now, Kennedy's predecessor, Dwight D. Eisenhower, is the first person to coin the military-industrial complex. Because even he knew there was something a-coming. And the motherfucker was a general. Like, he was all about that military shit. But even he knew there was something stinky about this.
Yeah.
He knew there was something wrong.
Something fucked this way comes, Yeah.
Maybe you want to take over? Or...
I'm just kind of riding your wave, man.
You gotta
you're good.
I was just like, I felt like I was hogging too much air there for a minute.
I'm only really here right now with some to back up your fire. I'm stoking the...
We're listening to you. Keep going.
Okay.
Stoking the blower. Come on. So,
Kennedy gets elected president. His predecessor tells him, hey, this is what's up. There's some motherfuckers, they took advantage of what was going on in World War II, and instead of like what we normally do is dismantle the war machine after the war's over with, they didn't stop.
They just keep making it bigger.
which led us to the Korean conflict,
Yeah.
which we're dabbling in. At that point, they were dabbling in Vietnam. Like, the first CIA fucking operatives were there feeling shit out, right? The French were tapping out.
Well,
Right.
I mean, it's all Cold War shit.
Exactly.
It all essentially started as soon as World War II was over.
They were just starting brush fires all across
Before
the
it was
fucking
even
world.
over.
But see, that's the thing. That's the narrative. We were led to believe like the next great threat is communism.
Right.
But I mean, in hindsight, we all know. Even the CIA knew back then that it was bullshit.
Yeah, they sat on that, didn't they? We talked about that in the CIA episode, but they sat on it for quite a while. They just kept taking the money.
Yeah.
They were getting paid to, like, look into it, and they're like, yeah, we're going to use this for other shit.
We're looking into it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We're keeping a close eye.
But I mean, he basically told him like, "Hey, there's these cats. They're no good. They got links in the government," and pointed towards fucking CIA cocksuckers, right?
Yeah.
Like, these are the dudes you need to watch out for. So Kennedy begins his career as president of the United States. It's like a big thing. Like, even today, like, everybody knows who JFK is. He was fucking young. He was fucking Catholic.
He was the last president we had.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, for real.
So he starts off his career, and in the first couple of years, he kind of has a few hiccups. Like Bay of Pigs and the whole Cuban Missile Crisis. All that shit, right? And here's the thing. All those things, if you look at like who was involved with it, that's shit involving the CIA. That's shit involving organizations that were trying to run a narrative about how, like, they were trying, more or less, they were trying to control, all these bigwigs had fucking controlling interests in what was going on in Cuba because they had property in Cuba. They didn't want Cuba to go to the communists because they would lose their property. So they got our government involved in a fucking conspiracy to retake Cuba. And I think that's like when Kennedy, like, he may have saw what Eisenhower said and was like, "Oh, okay, I got you," right? But didn't realize the impact. Like, I think Bay of Pigs and the Cuban Missile Crisis are what woke him up to like how serious these motherfuckers
He was
were.
like, man, this dude was for real, I guess.
But yeah, so you get these two crises, and I think he finally started to catch on. Like, these dudes are on some shit I don't want to be a part of. So then you get the first talks about maybe opening up relations with the Russians, maybe talking to them. You know what I mean? Understanding that like maybe we can evenly distribute what we have to the world and make it a better place, right? That's the first time you start hearing those notions. Like, there could be a peace, a good, lasting peace. And the CIA is already in Vietnam right now. And he's like, after seeing Bay of Pigs and the Cuban Missile Crisis, he's like, no, fuck that.
I've got his actual quote here about the CIA, if you'd like.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
"I will splinter the CIA into 1,000 pieces and scatter it into the winds."
That was a good
That was a
impression.
great impression.
Thank you. Fucking bow, you know? God damn it, man.
That's a train.
Okay, I just said that thing fucking just got crazy.
Okay. But
Technical difficulties podcast.
But yeah, so basically, he saw what happened in Cuba, and he saw what they were starting to do in Vietnam, and he's like, I don't think so.
This is fucked up, guys.
Nah, I think we're probably, and mind you, this is like 63.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to think about pulling you dudes out of Vietnam.
I think
And
so.
also, like you said, I'm about to fucking wreck the CIA too.
And there was another quote in there, too, around that time period. Because, I mean, you're talking about 63. It only made it about 11 months, 23 days into that year, right? Or, I'm sorry, 11 months, 22 days.
Yeah.
Sometime in that last year, also, he was talking about putting us back on a silver standard, which would break us free of the Federal Reserve. So they're like, look, I don't know I don't know if...
You just see, like, I imagine John D. Rockefeller polishing his fucking gun as he's listening to him.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
"Hey,
These
cocksucker."
motherfuckers. I wish I could know which, like, of the three things that he said that we mentioned here, which one was the one that were like, green light, you know, fuck that dude.
Yeah. So,
Somebody's got to do something about this guy or we're fucked.
I guess that brings us to... but don't worry, we're going to Tarantino the shit out of this because
That's what we do.
there's certain elements that you have to go forward, go back, go forward,
Yeah.
go back. It's not a consistent thing.
Look at these red strings. Look
Yeah.
where they come from and where
Okay.
they go.
So, we get to 11/22/1963.
Yeah.
Dallas. A parade. The day before, a paper prints a full-page ad calling for Kennedy, dead or alive, while he's in Dallas.
Whoops.
Yes. He's on a parade route. He's in the back with the fucking top down,
Yeah.
which, I don't know.
That's it. It seems,
Lots of tall buildings.
Has he ever done that before?
Yeah, but you gotta think of the construct of, like, I don't think around tall buildings like that or anything.
Right.
So he's on his motorcade,
the time
flying down.
if I was him, I would have got nervous right around the time that the Secret Service agent stepped away from the vehicle.
Yeah. Driving through Dallas on his motorcade. He's going through Dealey Plaza
Yes.
in downtown Dallas at 12:30 p.m. while riding in his motorcade. A shot rang out.
Bang.
Kennedy immediately grabs the front of his neck, throat area. A second shot rings out.
Bang.
Seconds later, nothing happens. A third shot rings out.
Bang.
The back of Kennedy's head just fucking blows out like a goddamn children's piñata.
Yeah. Like somebody kicked the Nanango over, you know?
Jacqueline Kennedy freaks the fuck out. Goes to literally jump out of the fucking vehicle, but the Secret Service agent pushes her back in,
Get in the car.
and they fucking drive away. Less than an hour later, he was declared dead.
Yeah. With a pristine bullet, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Apparently, like, the bullet was literally, like they had his body laid out, and someone walked up, and the bullet was just, like, sitting on the bed.
oh, look, I found it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that didn't happen that way, but okay.
A couple hours later, Lee Harvey Oswald is arrested without much struggle in a movie theater.
And he quoted at that point, or when they were taking him into the jail, talking about he was a patsy.
Yes. The next day, or 2 days later at his arraignment, he is shot and killed by one Jack Ruby. Jack Ruby is arrested and then subsequently has a heart attack.
Man, that's like the perfect loose end tie-up. I don't smell conspiracy in there at all.
No. So,
Certainly not.
Big Dick Johnson
Yeah.
becomes president of the United States. He's sworn in on Air Force One with Kennedy's bloodstained wife sitting next to him.
Yeah. And
And then a year or two later, the Warren Commission comes out with a theory that for the life of me and for the life of most physics experts would have to disagree as to how it actually happened.
or anybody that's ever shot a gun.
Yeah. Okay.
The old magic bullet.
Yeah. Now,
Fuck me.
fuck the Warren Commission for a minute, because now we're going to Tarantino back again.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to the patsy. Lee Harvey Oswald.
The Ruski.
Yes. Former Marine. Expatriate who left and went to Russia, and then for whatever reason came back and garnered a little bit of media attention for doing it in the first place. Not a lot, just enough. So that, like, that name clicked at people's heads. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
He's a commie. He's a dirty, filthy commie, and he killed the greatest man that ever lived.
I hate the communist motherfucker.
Yes. And like you said, as he's leaving as he's in the police department, is telling them, I'm a patsy. I didn't do it.
No, they're laying this on my head.
Yeah. But mind you, back to the actual assassination itself, the classic back to the left, as he's getting shot. The shot is coming from behind, but somehow exits the back of his head.
Yeah.
From the footage, from what we call now the Zapruder footage. We've all seen it before. It's whether that's part of the conspiracy or not, I don't know.
I'd like to see the video that they show all the incoming selected presidents so we could see what angle the gun actually fired from. Because that's I think, what happens.
Yeah.
If they're not just straight placed in there, then they're shown a video like, hey, check this out. When you watch it, you know?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, this is what I'm going to say about the conspiracy, right? It's obviously a conspiracy. It's not as simple as fucking Lee Harvey Oswald just deciding, like, fuck it, I'm going to kill him.
Yeah.
Like, and decided that completely on his own.
Right. I'm going to get a job at the book depository, and I'm going to take my shot then.
Yeah. That didn't happen like
so
that.
Fucking silly.
At the very least, he had handlers.
Right.
At the very least, even if he actually did it, like, he wasn't alone in it.
It was a conspiracy, a come together of many minds.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had people try to take the shots with the same gun, like, multiple times.
I heard it can be done, but
It
even
can be
then,
done, but you have to be, like, you have to be a fucking expert.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure even if you're a badass with a rifle and you can pull those shots off, the way that you can't plan
They
something
didn't have
like
any
that.
adrenaline running through them either. I mean, they weren't thinking about the adrenaline you're going to have
Right.
rushing through your body as you're pointing a fucking gun down range at the president's
As
head.
you're about to shoot the leader of the free world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Like, you think even the best shot in the world would be able to pull that shit off?
No, man, but elite. What I'm saying is, even if he was
With
the
that
best
precision?
shot in the world with everything going, he had the gun, he was there at the time, he could do it. There's no way you pull that off by yourself. You know what I mean? Fuck that lone gunman bullshit. No one was helping him. He did that on his own.
They confiscated everyone's stuff. They interviewed all kinds of people.
Right.
They confiscated more than the Zapruder film.
And then to
That's
have
the only one that leaked out because that's the one that didn't show anything.
and then to have him never be able to stand before a courtroom and say anything about it and get shot before a word even exits his mouth about it.
And his murderer's murderer fucking dies,
Yeah. I attain the theory, I think that and I think I talked about this in the CIA episode, that the Kennedy assassination was a co-opted event by two different organizations, one being the CIA and the other one being the Mafia.
Do you think that's why Jack Ruby was involved?
Yes, because here's the thing. We know that the predecessor of the CIA worked with the Mafia during World War II. They had those ties for years, where these individuals, worked tandem with each other. They've been working since World War II. Lucky Luciano worked with OSS.
No. Did he get to say anything before he had a heart attack? Jack Ruby?
All he said about it is the reason why he did it was because he didn't want JFK's widow to have to, endure the trial.
Right.
Good looking out.
And then he croaked.
So, why would they have... How would he have been killed? You think maybe they...
Dude, the
I'm
science...
sure they've had
You think they laced
CIA
him with something?
Yeah,
had
fuck yeah.
chemical heart attacks going
They've
around
been
for a
trying
long
to kill
time.
Castro for years with cyanide. How would they know the difference between a cyanide poison? If
Not only that, but fuck.
if you have the coroner on the payroll, how would they know the difference between? You wouldn't know because the
Right.
coroner's going to put heart attack.
I don't remember the
Right.
the episode of the Higher Side Chats, but I'm sure you listened to it too. There was a lady that claimed to be working with the CDC or something down in Georgia about making a cancer virus in order to kill Castro. If they were able to do that kind of shit back then, I'm sure killing a dude in a prison cell
Right.
with a fake ass heart attack is probably nothing. It's
Yeah.
probably too easy to do. And I'm sure he got paid off, like his family. It's also, is it a coincidence that
Or maybe they put him up to it and
Every-
put it into his head, and then they were like, we're just going to kill this motherfucker later before he can even...
right?
Well, it's like I said. I think Jack Ruby had ties to the mafia. I think that's what it was.
Is it a coincidence that
He already knew what would happen if he didn't do the job.
every
Pretty
fucking
much.
president that ever went against the Federal Reserve System had shots taken at him? Lincoln, Jackson, Kennedy. You know what I mean? Anytime somebody so much as came up with a different, maybe we could go greenback, or maybe fuck the Fed. Let's go silverback currency.
You
And
would
then
think
also-
that with all the hate that there is for Donald at the moment, that someone would have tried to shoot his ass, but he's not going against the mainstream.
Well, you can talk to the Secret Service about that when you get home tonight. He said it,
But yeah, so basically,
he keeps paying lip service. Donald Trump keeps paying lip service in the Fed, but I don't think it's real.
no. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. There has not been a legitimate president of the United States since Kennedy.
No.
Every one of them was either in on it
Or became in on it.
or became in on it or is a shill.
Was it
They're really just face.
wasn't it Daddy
That's all.
Bush that had his fucking he didn't remember where he was when Kennedy got shot or something like that?
Yeah, man. He was the head of CIA.
He was the head of the CIA at the time.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
He was seducing
It's like
somebody.
asking,
at the time.
where were you
young-
out on
a young
9/11?
boy.
You know?
Yeah.
He had
Where were you out on 9/11? Oh, I don't remember.
I just can't recall.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of the biggest life-changing events in your life,
Yeah,
and you
he's-
just don't remember what happened?
Where were you when that head went back into the left?
Every president since then has either been in on it or just basically been told to go along with the program.
Yeah.
I mean, Johnson obviously was in on it because he was just completely like, what the fuck ever about it. Even if he wasn't, like, what was he going to do?
No, he was.
What was he going to do?
Johnson was definitely in on it.
He went ahead and went with the fucking...
Look at all the fuck shit Johnson did after.
Look, like, even though, like, the whole
he pretty
country...
much reversed everything that Kennedy ever tried to do.
Think about the Vietnam War. The whole fucking country...
As soon as Johnson took office, we went balls to the wall to Vietnam.
Like, we've been led to believe that it was just, like, hippies who were protesting the war in Vietnam and us getting out of there. Fuck no. It was, like, everybody.
Yeah.
They had these huge fucking marches. The biggest marches the United States has ever had came out of the Vietnam War.
Yeah, and most of them weren't even hippies. Most of them were normal people.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they knew
and they lead you to
be
believe that they're all fucking dirty
and
hippies.
Guess what? We were still in Vietnam when Johnson left office. So obviously he wasn't. He was all about the program.
His whole job was to go around and threaten people with his giant dick. And while they rendered down with 1960s technology the video from the other angle, and like you said, the ones that followed got to watch that video they rendered, or they were just in on the motherfucker.
Yeah, because then you go after him. I don't know, man. Sometimes I want to think that Tricky Dick wasn't necessarily, and that's why they ended up indicting him in the Watergate shit.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't part of the program.
Somebody who's done infinitely less than most everybody else that's been in office, and he's the one that gets indicted.
Gerald Ford, he was just kind of a stand-in for Richard Nixon. I don't know where to put Gerald Ford. I don't know where to put Jimmy Carter either.
I'm a peanut farmer.
Kind of a lame duck.
He was a lame duck. He really didn't do nothing, and I think that's how they wanted it.
That's how they want it.
And then in comes fucking Ronald Reagan. Now, here's the thing about Ronald Reagan. I don't know if not Ronald Reagan was 100% on the program, but I could guarantee goddamn team he was after fucking Mark David Chapman. Or was it Mark David Chapman? Yeah, it was Mark David Chapman.
He was definitely in on it when they took that picture of him sitting in Bohemian Grove. You know?
Oh, okay, yeah, you do got me there.
Fuck me.
But, like, so then in comes Bush Sr., former head of the CIA.
Don't remember where it was.
He loved giving people fucking Colt 1911s with New World Order printed on them, for fuck's sake.
It's time for the New World Order.
So, and then subsequently after that...
After the camera turns off, he face fucks a 6-year-old boy.
Where'd those cigarettes go?
Right here.
Back and to the right.
There we go.
There it
but
is.
Yeah, then in come Clinton.
He was old school, some type of mafia, getting his own criminal thing on and just banging bitches out on the desk.
Obviously, everyone has been part of it since then.
Yeah.
Right.
Even like, I'm not even sure where to put Donald at, because sometimes I feel like he's fighting for us, and other times I feel like he's just working for the man. Not
to, senselessly plug the Higher Side chats again, but one of their guests put it best, like, he's never fighting for you. Like,
no.
It's just war among empire, right?
Right.
Like, we're still going to be the cattle.
True. It doesn't matter. Whether he's on their side or he's on someone else's side.
So more or less,
nobody is on our side.
If he's on our side,
we're trading one cabal for another.
Right.
More or less. Yeah.
So what we're saying is that he may not be part of this so-called New World Order. He's part of another New World Order for sure.
Newer World Order.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's like,
if anything,
some things that kind of clued me into him, like they're talking about getting rid of Obamacare, and he's like, we're going to replace it
with the same goddamn
same thing. And then he would shoot shots at the Federal Reserve for a while, and I was like, okay, fuck yeah. And then he's like, I think that might have been another part of the QAnon thing, where they were like, are they going to get rid of the Fed? And he was like, not get rid of, we're going to restructure. Like, it's a goddamn private bank.
Yeah.
That lends us debt.
Let me get one more of those.
I don't think...
Michael Savage on the way over today. Sorry to ramble again.
No, it's what we do.
Michael Savage.
I didn't think you were a fan of the Savage.
Psychological nudity. He's okay. I like to listen to him from time to time because I love his hate, and I like the fact that he's got some independent views. But he's... ultra-conservative in some parts that I can't really deal with.
I like when he bugs out and listens to, like, Blue Monday.
But, it's cool. I like to listen to him, though. You can't agree with someone 100% of the time, and he even says that himself.
Yeah.
So, but anyway...
Marijuana is the most dangerous drug in the world.
Exactly.
Changed my mind.
Right. He was talking trash about
says that?
Oregon or Washington State are trying to legalize psilocybin.
Right.
And he was, like, upset. He was really upset about that.
Fucking go.
But anyway, he was listening to a clip of Ron Paul said, like, yesterday or today, maybe.
Yeah.
He came out and was talking about how he thinks there's going to be 50% correction in the stock markets coming up soon.
Yeah, I just crossed the, what's it called? The death cross. You see that?
Mm-mm.
Some Look it up on YouTube, everybody. But the stock market just crossed a threshold where they call it the death cross, and it's supposed to be the indication of fuck shit to come. Sorry, what did he say about it though?
He just said there's going to be a 50% correction, and he thinks it's going to be worse than 1929.
Well, I think we'll be okay because the NSA is watching out for us, and there's no reason to have 6 months of worth of food or water. I like QAnon, you know?
Right.
Take care of me.
So, you know,
take care of me, Daddy.
Not that I want that to happen now, you know.
Tread on me.
Yeah,
But I don't
tread on
not
me,
want it
Daddy.
to happen either.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind watching something happen catastrophic in my life.
Yeah, I just prefer it not to be when I've got a toddler.
I was gonna say, I don't know how you could say that. You both have children.
Well,
Yeah, but I also don't. I don't know.
we don't live in a giant urban city.
It's
not
hard
like
to
we're
want to.
not prepared, you know?
I don't know. Do you want to raise your kids in a world where you can't fucking say
Fascist dictatorship.
anything you want?
See, I'm in.
And you live in a dictatorship, or it's something that's going to be like Brave New World within the next 20 years.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, we've talked about it a number of times before in the past 99 episodes, but, you know, great times breed weak men, you know?
That's true.
It's time to get a little suffering in here. Maybe our sons will be the proverbial fucking badass generation
I got
that
back and
brings it all
forth
back.
because, you know, I have a child now. But
The hard bodies that we weren't.
Right. Mush fake hardness.
Yeah. Fake hardness.
Listen, man, anybody that thinks they're hard is not hard unless you're French. Those motherfuckers are hard
Listen,
right now.
nah, we haven't even got to talk about that shit.
I know.
We've been gone so long.
yeah.
Fuck, man. France is outshining us when it comes to being all about fuck that shit.
Have you seen what the mainstream media is trying to blame it on the Russians?
Oh,
Of course.
Suck my fucking dick,
It's the
man.
Russians. The Russians have been giving them propaganda to do this. Right? And they're blaming all the yellow vests, saying that they were handed that by the Russians, yada, 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 and all this
Or
bullshit.
they got them out of their goddamn
Come to
cars.
find out, it's fucking law. They have to carry the goddamn yellow vests around with them in their car.
Yeah. That's what happens. It's funny, though.
That's what happens when you live in a dictatorship world. You have to be required to carry on a yellow vest or you get arrested.
Right. They just keep making more and more petty bullshit.
Yeah.
You need to have, you know, you can only masturbate with your left hand. Like they're talking about fucking California right now, which is our version of Europe, I think. It's like the most liberal shit pot that we've got in this country, but they're like, we're going to start taxing them for text. You know, they're just sitting in a room like, what can we tax next? What laws can we make? Meanwhile, homeless people are shitting in the streets, jerking off with shared heroin needles. You know?
It's fine.
What's your real problem?
It's all about creating more regulations for the normal person.
We know you're mad at your dad. Don't take it out on us.
Yeah, you're not mad at me. You're mad at your dad. I forgive you.
One more regulation to utopia, right?
That's all it, man. If you just tax us 100% of the way and make us cuck out while you come over with a government jackboot and cuck my wife, you know.
And I want to hear the person out there like, wait a minute, guys. You know, these people have good intentions.
What the hell you mean, these people?
Okay then. They have good intentions. They want to help poor people. Let me tell you, I'm here to tell you right now. I'm about fucking 100% sure that the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah.
Throughout the course of human history, every fucking piece of shit legislation, backbiting, fucking democide, and all that shit was fucking umbrellaed under the guise that it was for the best for us.
Yeah,
or
the
for
city
good,
on a hill.
Yeah. Good fucking intentions.
They, in quotations, care as much about poor people as Margaret Sanger cared about black people.
Not at all.
Well, she said that they were subhuman weeds and need to be exterminated.
Oh, okay.
You know, I mean,
Same person who founded Planned Parenthood, everybody.
Hillary Clinton's role model.
Yeah. Just look that up. And no, it wasn't taken out of context.
No, it wasn't. That's a direct quote.
Yeah.
But it's all, they love you.
Yeah.
They love you.
Their form of love is like, it's such a great distance between what I consider love and what they consider love. Is the difference between somebody who's into regular heterosexual sex and somebody's into fucking
some of that. Like you want real rape, like regular rape, or
well, remember
extra
we
rape?
talked about the other day, dog knots.
Oh yeah.
Hey everybody, get on that Google. I had to find it out, and now you have to too. You're gonna go over and you're gonna get on Google and you're gonna Google dog knot.
You spell it for him.
DOGKNOT.
Okay, thank you.
Dog knot. 2 words, 1 meaning.
Yeah.
And it is fucking terrible.
They want to dog knot you, and they never want to let you go.
Yes. It's pretty disturbing. But I think that about wraps it up for this 100th episode.
Man, come on.
I'm glad you were here with us. I'm glad you got to experience 100 episodes with us.
Let us know in some way, shape, or form when you started listening. I love talking to y'all.
Yeah. We're glad we're back.
Yeah. I just want to do it more.
Yeah.
All the time. You can make us do it all the time.
Yeah. You just go over on that Patreon.
Mm.
Donate $1.
$1.
You can donate more if you want. I ain't going to stop you.
No,
it's your money.
Do whatever you want.
See, that's the thing here at Bones and Tubs. We ain't going to tax you.
No.
You know what I mean? We're not going to... We come with you hat in hand asking to help us, help you get out of this drudgery.
Right.
And follow the true path. Check us out on Instagram. There's a link on there. Go get yourself some merchandise.
Head on over there. Grab you up some swag.
Yeah. Maybe you got some money for Christmas.
Yeah.
Good way to spend that is get a Bones and Tubs t-shirt.
Mm.
Or, or donate to the Patreon.
Yeah.
But no, check out our Instagram, our Facebook, our website. We'd like to thank Ryan Simpson for letting us use his music on the show.
So nice.
Yes. We hope you have a good Christmas.
Yeah.
And we hope you have a good week.
Wonderful New Year.
And yeah, we will see you in the new year.
Indeed. Well,
yes.
Chris Roberts, don't forget your range check because you're probably listening to it at work.
No.
One of the many of the Exodus. You'll be sorely missed.
Yeah. But we hope you'll still be listening.
Yeah, for sure.
And we hope to see you next time.
We love you.
We really do.
A break in the clouds, a stillness falls around us. What once was so loud became a silence that surrounds us. Don't you feel the sun? You're still so young. It has begun, your kingdom come. It's all in tune. It's all in tune. Signs say it's time to move. You have the proof. You have the proof. It's worth what you've been through. Don't you feel the sun? You're still so young. It has begun. Your kingdom come. So off you go into that mystery, your dreams in tow, to claim your destiny. Don't you feel the sun? You're still so young. Don't you feel that sun? You're still so young. It has begun. Your kingdom come. Your kingdom come.